Hey guys, welcome back to Comic Talk. My name is Matt K, and this week I'm talking about Dark Days: The Forge, a comic that acts as a prelude to Metal, the new DC event coming out this summer. I gotta admit, I wasn't too sure what to expect when going into this issue, except for the fact that it's dealing with a concept called the Dark Multiverse, and Nth Metal, the mysterious metal that Hawkman uses to fly, and just has a lot of mysterious properties. I know that's all connected, but this is a very Batman-centric issue, and it's written by one of my favorite comic book writers, Scott Snyder. He wrote American Vampire and Batman when it started in the New 52, and I'm just a huge fan of his work. And the fact that he's setting up and is the true mastermind behind this entire event has really got me hyped. Plus, we have some legendary artists on this as well, such as John Romita Jr., Andy Kubert, and Jim Lee, just to name a few. And when reading this comic, I was just shocked how far back this has been leading, and just the intensive comic book lore they threw in here, and it just gave me a feeling that this event is just going to be epic in scale. As for the story itself, it deals with 3 different stories: Hawkman, Batman, and Green Lantern, as it slowly edges forward, revealing to us a mystery that has been hiding under the noses of DC's greatest heroes. I'm going to go ahead and start with Hawkman's portion, with him recently dying in Death of Hawkman. His story is more through reincarnations, I'm assuming, which is a huge part of the character. He's always been one to reincarnate and come back in different eras. But his story starts with him telling his origin, like finding the spaceship and how it gave him, Carter Hall, and his wife Shira, and his mortal enemy Hath-Set, immortal life through reincarnation, and how their many lives converged. Every once in a while, he'd see the image on the cover, a very large statue with what appears to be Batman, with people tied to the legs of it. And he reveals that he's been studying Nth Metal ever since the beginning, and how its powers emanate from somewhere beyond, and a story that started at the dawn of man. Batman's story, however, starts with him rescuing one Dr. Madison, who is about to be overcome by lava after discovering there's something wrong with the Earth's core, the metals. He is able to get him out thanks to Aquaman, and we find out that this site was off the books from everyone, including Aquaman himself, who, because he was drilling in his domain, is a problem, and it was involving something underneath Atlantis. We also see that these 2 heroes are being monitored by Lady Blackhawk, maybe one of the newer versions of the Blackhawks, a group of expert pilots. From here, Batman travels to his lunar base, and we see him meet with Mr. Terrific, who has been gathering data on another world. So automatically, I'm thinking Earth 2 from the New 52 Earth 2 series, which is a big deal, meaning he has been how long has this been going on? That's already a huge reveal. They discuss a frequency being generated around the world that is growing stronger, something that is beyond Earth's technology, something cosmic in scale. Batman also reveals he's been keeping someone here extracting his molecules due to him being unstable, but it's time to let him out. And that's when we see the King of Kings, Plastic Man, is back in the DC universe, baby, and it has been forever since we have seen this hero. I don't think since before the New 52. And while we don't actually see anything of him, we see a symbol. We can bet that he's either in that machine or he is that machine. You never know with Plastic Man, but you can bet it's him. Batman then travels to the Fortress of Solitude, where he talks with Superman about a room he allowed him to have in here that Superman promised to never look into, and how nothing from Earth can open it. Enter Mr. Miracle, one of the coolest new gods on the block and master escape artist, who comes in to break into the room since Batman shot the key into the sun. A little overkill. Mr. Miracle easily gets in, of course, and sees something shocking, something so shocking that it makes him tell Batman he needs to stop immediately. It's on this next page that we see he has the anti-monitor tuning fork created by Alexander Luthor from Earth 3, used all the way back in Infinite Crisis, which is huge shit, people. This is big. This is a big deal. Why did Batman take this? The fact that Infinite Crisis is canon in this universe is pretty big too, but he should not be messing around with this. This is a big no-no. The final story is Green Lantern receiving a request from Ganthet, who, regarding a threat on Earth, specifically the Batcave, asks him to go investigate. He gets attacked by Duke Thomas, who is easily dispatched, before going off and finding a secret part of the Batcave. We see them go deeper into this section of the cave with a mysterious voice talking about past events in comics, including various metal objects such as the metal tooth that raised the talons, the helmet of Naboo, the helmet of Dr. Fate if you don't know, Aquaman's trident, and Wonder Woman's bracelets. We see that he created a team called the Outsiders, who of course operated outside of the influence of everyone Batman knew, and they were created to find out more about these metals, and even Dionysium, the life-restoring metal used in Batman Endgame, is mentioned. Green Lantern and Duke Thomas finally hit the end of the trail where we see the person who has been talking to them the whole time. We see the Joker being held prisoner in the Batcave, explaining he knows the mystery of the metals and that they are all just pieces of the puzzle. So, wow, what a lot of secrets this guy has. Batman, I mean, you gotta start opening up, buddy, seriously. And how does he have the time to do all this stuff anyway? I mean, like, are his days like 72 hours where he's just not sleeping? I mean, he's investigating so many different things, and then he just proposed to Selena Kyle. How's that marriage gonna work out? But anyway, I think my favorite thing about this comic, if anything, is that it really establishes a strong sense of history with the DC Universe. I mean, we've seen Hawkman's origin restored. He's been reincarnated several times. Apparently, Infinite Crisis, like I said, happened at one point, which is really big, meaning this is definitely not the New 52 universe. The New 52 universe is done with. This is kind of the universe we had before Flashpoint. And apparently at one point, Batman and the Outsiders were canon, so we don't know how far this universe stretches back, if they're using a sliding time scale, as some people call it, where there's not really any specific date when the story started, it just kind of all happened. But it's apparent that these reasons, I kind of believe this mystery is a little more haunting, that it stretches so far back, and it's clear that these metals are connected to this dark universe, whether their powers are from this dark multiverse, and it's just growing stronger, and it's starting to actually affect the Earth. So it's time to deal with this. Plus, Plastic Man. I mean, he's definitely one of the coolest, funniest characters. I've loved him since I was a kid. He always made me laugh, especially in Batman: Brave and the Bold. So it's great to see him back. And the return of the Joker. It's been about a good year since we've seen anything on him, at least the real one. And we find out Batman got sick of him breaking out of Arkham and just tossed him in prison. But more, to be serious, he, at the end of the New 52 Batman run, was cured. At least we think it's this Joker. After all, there are three. And he is now prisoner in this Batcave with his insanity back in full swing. That's just the thought. I mean, I don't even know, like I said, if this is the same Joker. And that's another thing. Snyder has specifically stated that the three Joker mystery will not be solved or even at play at part of the. It's just not going to be part of this event. So sorry, guys. Anyways, one thing I love about this comic channel is it really gives me a chance to see what you guys are all thinking. As you guys always come up with the craziest theories and formulas, and more often than not are pretty close or on the nose. So once again, please put your theories down on what you think is going to happen. I'm really interested in what you guys have to say, especially about this comic. In the meantime, thanks for watching. I'm Matt K, and I will see you guys when Dark Knight's Metal is released.